The Bucks have a problem with Chris Baker. Bucks fans have a problem with Chris Baker. Bucks players have a problem with Chris Baker. What's the fate of Chris Baker? Well, the 6'2", 333-pound defensive lineman is 30 years old. He is currently entering the second year of his 3-year, $15 million contract that he signed this past offseason, $9 million of it being guaranteed. And the dude wasn't that good this past season. He was brought in to kind of be, everybody was kind of expecting him to be that guy next to Gerald McCoy, you know, like that big guy. Gerald McCoy's going to rush the passer. Chris Baker's going to stop the run. And to be fair, the dude's huge. 333 pounds, 6'2". Yeah, he should probably stop the run. But I also thought he could be a nice blend of run stopping and pass rush as well. And it just didn't go that well at all, if we're being honest with ourselves. You know, Chris Baker was, a lot of people called him lazy. A lot of people just called him flat out not good. He was undisciplined. He was a mess. This past season with Chris Baker is a mess, and that's the only way I can describe it. You know, he had some very killer penalties. He just showed like he didn't, a lot of people said that he didn't care, and, you know, in some ways, yeah, it definitely showed that he might not care. He's said on social media multiple times that yes, he cares, yes, he cares, yes, he cares. In interviews, yes, I care, yes, I care, yes, I care. But just from the body language and facial expressions on the field, a lot of fans are calling him out saying he's lazy, he doesn't care, he's flat out not good. Why do we have him? We should get rid of him. Now, I'm the firm believer, and I'm trying to be more patient. I'm trying to be more patient with players and the team in general, but Chris Baker, man, I think he's pretty toxic in my opinion. I don't think he really has a place on this team anymore, in my humble opinion. There was this one game that they had where he had an encroachment penalty that basically lost them the game, essentially. And he was smiling or whatever. He didn't seem that affected by it. He went to the locker room. A confrontation occurred, I believe it was like with Quan Alexander and Jameis Winston. So really, he isn't doing himself any favors. It just seems like he's trying to burn bridges at this point with the team. If you want my honest opinion, I think he's probably done with the team. But as I said, I'm trying to be more patient with these guys. You know, a lot of people give Bucs fans flack for being impatient and just being overall not that good of a fan base. But I'm trying here. You know, I'm trying. But with certain guys like Chris Baker, you just kind of can't have patience for him. I'm always a firm believer in Clinton McDonald. I feel Clinton McDonald could always be that guy next to Gerald McCoy. He's more of a pass rusher, but still, having two pass rushers, let's be honest, that's probably the best case scenario at this point. Gerald McCoy can do both stopping the run and rushing the passer, so I feel like, in my opinion, you don't necessarily need a guy next to Gerald that is just specifically a run stopper, because, you know, Chris Baker was, I feel like he was okay at stopping the run this year. Like, he wasn't bad, but in terms of pass rush, just no production whatsoever. It just wasn't good. I feel like we could upgrade the position. At the very least, we could start Clinton McDonald, and that would be, I would feel, an upgrade. Clinton McDonald's very, very underrated in my opinion. I feel Clinton McDonald's probably the second best defensive tackle on the team. But I don't hate Chris Baker. I don't. But a lot of stuff has happened, obviously, with the whole, you know, it's just bad attitude, bad work ethic from what it seems. Just lack of effort, I guess you could say, and lack of good plays that he was making. You know, he wasn't getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. He wasn't getting a lot of sacks on the quarterback. He seemed to be hazing a little bit, especially towards the kickers, which that I don't necessarily agree with, but that's just another point that people bring out is, oh, I knew something was up whenever we saw him hazing Aguayo before he was making kicks. You know, that's your teammate, man. You need to support him. And I'm like, yeah, but also that could have been a tactic by Chris Baker to build up Aguayo's mentality. But let's be honest, Aguayo's mentality was shot, okay? Aguayo was shot, okay? Like, he was done. Aguayo was done anyway, so really, who cares? A lot of people didn't even like Aguayo anyway, so that's a bad point. But I will say, yeah, in terms of production and in terms of work ethic, you know, I will say this. I went to one game this year. It was the Falcons versus the Bucs, the John Gruden Ring of Honor induction game. I went to that game. And you could tell Chris Baker was disappointed. You know, he wasn't sitting there like... I could tell Chris Baker was disappointed. Now, I don't know if he was disappointed in the fact that they're losing, or he was just disappointed, like, I never even wanted to be on this, you know, like, I'm so disappointed that I'm on this crappy team. I want to leave this team, you know? Who knows? Who knows what players are thinking? I can't read people that well. But I will say that on Monday, at least on that game, he looked disappointed. But, you know, I guess there is some, you know, credit to the... you know, the talk of saying, like, he doesn't care, he shows poor work ethic, and I know, like, obviously the players will... there is some times where he's shown that, you know, the whole encroachment thing that basically cost them the game, that was really, really, really bad, and it just kind of shows, like, you really need to be disciplined in that one moment, you know, because moments like that can obviously make or break a game for you. It can cost you, it can win you a game, or it can lose you a game. And Chris Baker, in my mind, I don't think he fully did, but a lot of people feel that yes, Chris Baker lost us that game. You know, and when your own players are confronting you in the locker room after the game, you know that's probably not a good sign. You know, yes, you could chalk it up to, oh, players are just keeping each other accountable, but there's really this lack of accountability, and even some players have come up and said it, like, we need to be more accountable for each other, like, player-wise, you know, players are coming in and saying we need to be more accountable for each other, we need to have more unity in the locker room, stuff like that, and I agree with that sentiment as well. If you let guys, like, you know, you can't tolerate it. You know, you can't tolerate that kind of stuff. You need to make sure that your team's disciplined. You need to make sure that your team has a good attitude. And I'll also say that this could be Mike Smith's fault, and this could also be Dirk Cutter's fault, not disciplining the team enough, not really ramming it home. Like, hey, we signed you to a $15 million contract, $9 million guaranteed. We will cut you as soon as we can if you don't pick it up. You know, maybe not that. That's a little bit harsh, but like saying like, hey, dude. Enough with the bad attitude. You're a professional athlete. You're making millions of dollars. I don't want to see a bad attitude. Get over yourself and get out there and play some football. You know, like something like that. That's what I would do at least. But I'll never be an NFL coach probably. So you know, just I think it also speaks volumes to the accountability level in the Tampa Bay locker room, team in general. You know, I talked about this a couple videos ago with the whole TJ Ward incident. And I think it also rings true here. If you don't hold players accountable and you really don't punish them for bad behavior and bad work ethic, then, you know, I don't what are you doing, you know? And if it was me and I thought that it was a problem, which a lot of people say it was, and a lot of people, not just Bucs fans, but media members have said, like, yeah, it was a problem. You know, if I was Dirk Cutter, I would have said, dude, you're getting benched. We're going to have Clinton McDonald rolling. We're going to have some other guys rolling, and you're going to be benched, you know? Like, sorry. But the accountability, again, is just, that's the big thing here, is how accountable are the Bucs players, how accountable are the Bucs coaches to them, you know, to each other. You know, you need to have a very good sense of discipline. You need to have a very good sense of work ethic in this field, because these guys are getting paid millions of dollars. You know, you could obviously get people who are just signing, you know, I'm just here to get a paycheck, you know, so you need to keep these guys accountable, and it's going to be hard, but you really need to do it. And I feel that the Bucs just haven't had a good sense of haven't had a good sense of discipline in a while. You know, it's so hard to find a good balance. It's either somebody's too relaxed or somebody's too hard. You know, it's either you're a Greg Schiano, or you're, maybe to a certain degree, you're like a Dirk Cutter and you're too relaxed. Who knows? But it's really difficult to say what's gonna happen to Chris Baker. I could very easily see them keeping Chris Baker. I'm gonna say that. I know a lot of people want him gone, but if you want my opinion, it's just as likely that they're gonna keep him as if they're not going to keep him. Keep in mind, I don't hate Chris Baker as a person. I'm sure Chris Baker is a very nice guy. And I'm sure he didn't mean to do what he meant to do, you know, but if he did, that sucks and he deserves to go. But, you know, the Bucs kept Mike Smith. Nobody thought that was going to happen. The Bucs kept Dirk Cutter. It was like 50-50, like 60% thought they were going to keep him, 40% thought they weren't going to keep him. Everybody thought that Dirk was going to get rid of play calling. Didn't happen. Everybody thought that Dirk was going to you know, do this and that, and, you know, get rid of Mike Smith and, you know, change some staff. Everybody stayed. As far as we know, everybody's staying, and I think the same is probably going to ring true for the players, at least to a certain degree. And I could honestly probably see Chris Baker staying, just as likely as him not staying. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept him. And I know Jason Light's very quick to move on from free agent mistakes, but it appears that Jason Light's kind of changing his mood this time around to, instead of like just quick cuts, to saying like, okay, well, let's give him another year, let's give him another chance. And will Chris Baker do good if he gets another year? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. You know that if he stays another year, a lot of players are going to sit his. You know, a lot of players are probably going to keep him accountable. And I think the Bucs player leaders need to start acting like Gerald McCoy needs to get on his defensive line and say, hey guys, we ain't getting none of these encroachment penalties that are costing us these games, and we are going to be some freaking warriors, and we're going to kill the quarterback. You know, like that's what Gerald McCoy's got to do. Gerald McCoy's literally got to make it seem like they're going to destroy everybody. That's just my opinion. But let me know what you guys think about Chris Baker. I know it's definitely going to be a lot of negativity. And again, I want to apologize that I haven't been active lately. I've been really caught up in work, school, car repairs, a ton of stuff. And for those of you who were present in the last live stream, I apologize for that as well. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life, and YouTube has kind of been, you know, kind of going by the wayside. I haven't been going as hard. I know I was doing 2 videos a day, but I'm hoping to get back on track with at least 1 every day or so. But we'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about Chris Baker down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next video. But until then, goodbye for now, guys.